उसकी कोशिश हमेशा ये होती है कि वो जहां भी जाए वो वहां पे ना थोड़ी सी रोशनी कर दे।
हमें कंफ्यूजन हो गया था कि लाइक इज दिस भैया और दीदी सो दैट्स द थिंग हैपेंड इन आवर फर्स्ट कॉल.
हम दोनों इक्वल हैं इस रिलेशनशिप में, कोई बड़ा कोई छोटा नहीं है।
She inspires me a lot every single day and to do everything.
वैसे मैं इसकी बहुत टांग खींचती रहती हूँ, तो हमारा यूजुअली कॉल्स पे काफी लाफ्टर होता ही है।
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dil Ki Baat with our star pairs. Today's star pair is Ravpreet Didi and Anuj. A quick story over here. I met Anuj at an event called KER where he was a revolutionary, and I feel like I was lucky that I bumped into Anuj and I met his teacher and we were able to partner with his classroom and bring mentees like him on board. In case of Ravpreet Didi, I think I was lucky that she somehow found Claylab and we got a mentor like her on board. I'm very excited for all of you to get to know both of them and learn about their story. Ravpreet and Anuj, welcome to the show. Quick story about how this mapping was done for everyone. Usually जब हम मैपिंग करते हैं हम मेल मेंटर को मेल मेंटी, फीमेल मेंटर को फीमेल मेंटी देते हैं. Now Anuj comes from a class which is an all boys class. So his teacher reached out to me saying that my students don't have any female exposure in terms of understanding female perspectives. They don't have any female role models. Firstly, kudos to the teacher to think so much about these things about their children. But this was a challenge for me because this is not something जो हम Claylab में usually करते हैं. Second, I would have to check with the mentors if they are also comfortable taking up a different gender mentee. So that's how I contacted Ravpreet Didi and asked her if she was comfortable with Anuj. And then they got together. And the fact that they're here today, clearly this pairing worked. But this was a pilot at Claylab. So we'll get to know about this from both of them as well, how it worked well for them or it did not. So Ravpreet and Anuj, firstly, let's get to know you through each other. Anuj, tell us something about Ravpreet Didi.
If I talk about Ravpreet ma'am, so like I would describe her as like a person who is disciplined and have a great foundational activities who she is really do every single day to ground herself. And the second thing is would be like she is a person I can go anytime and like I can text him anywhere whenever I feel down and whenever I was not in a mood like to do something. And she inspires me a lot every single day and to do everything and to excel in my life. And also she always motivates me to be a better person every day, and that's the thing. And also she is a person who like always pushes me to out of my comfort zone. That's the thing that I really liked about her, and she's always been consistent towards what we all have to do, and that's a great thing that I really admire.
Wow, so Ravpreet Didi sounds like a great mentor. Ravpreet Didi, what is your mentee like?
Okay, so Anuj really means like a small brother. And I still remember, Purva, when you called me, I had no hesitation at all, if you will remember, because for me, the role I wanted to play in a mentee's life was really to help him to become a better person, like Anuj just said, right? अनुज ना मुझे हमेशा, पूर्वा, वो जुगनू पता है आपको, छोटे छोटे होते हैं वो, है ना? तो अनुज रिमाइंड्स मी ऑफ दैट टाइनी लिटिल फायरफ्लाई. आई love, that's the word, interacting with him. And so Anuj is that little firefly in my head. वो मतलब उसकी कोशिश हमेशा ये होती है कि वो जहां भी जाए वो वहां पे ना थोड़ी सी रोशनी कर दे. उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता है वो रोशनी थोड़ी हो या ज्यादा हो. तो मैं जितना पूछती हूँ, अनुज हाउ वाज योर वीक, अनुज को भी उतना ही जानना होता है दीदी के बारे में. अगर मैं पूछूंगी कि एटलीस्ट मेरी तरफ से कोई भी सीक्रेट नहीं है, पर्सनली और प्रोफेशनली विद अनुज, तो ही इज लाइक दैट लिटिल कैटलिस्ट, दैट लिटिल फायरफ्लाई, जो इतना सारा अंधेरा होता है लेकिन फिर जब जुगनू बाहर आते हैं ना तो हम सब उनको देखते हैं कि ओ माय गॉड, दे लाइट अप, दे जस्ट ब्रिंग अ स्माइल टू योर फेस, राइट? सो फॉर मी दैट इज अनुज.
That's lovely, and I can vouch for it too. He does light up every space that he enters. Anuj, all boys school में पढ़ने के बाद, having so many male role models and adults around, having a female mentor who you are now supposed to work with, how was that shift for you? क्या आपने पहले भी किसी female mentor के साथ काम किया है? रवप्रीत दीदी के साथ आपका जो पहला interaction हुआ, what was your first impression knowing that wow, I have a didi and not a bhaiya this time?
So that like when we firstly connect on our first call, so like I didn't really know like there's a ma'am like who is my mentor. because Ravpreet ma'am, I was not like able to connect that she is like my mentor. So हमें confusion हो गया था कि like is this भैया और दीदी. So there's a thing happened in our first call, and जब I went in the call and like जब मिले तो हमने बहुत सारी बातें करी, and like we get to know each other. And that's the thing that after the call I really like liked about that call. Like he, there's someone I can share all the things, and that's the thing that I really like. I can make others bond as well. And apart from like a male and like boys community, I can also have a didi to whom I can share my feelings and get a lot of support from her.
सो अनुज अभी कैसा है वो तो हम इस एपिसोड के ड्यूरेशन में जान जाएंगे, बट जब आप अनुज को मिले थे रवप्रीत, व्हाट वाज दैट अनुज लाइक? व्हाट वाज योर फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन? व्हाट आर द चेंजेस इन द अनुज दैट वी सी राइट नाउ?
So Anuj and I first met in January of this year, right? So we're almost finishing, like we're having our first year anniversary very soon. But I think my first impression of Anuj was, and I still remember, कि वो इतनी आसानी से ना वीडियो पे नहीं आया था. He took a, and for me that was like a big shift when he started doing that, because I realized and I respected that. Anuj was ये जो अभी दिख रहा है ना आपको, इतनी बड़ी स्माइल और इतना सारा कॉन्फिडेंस, दोनों ही चीजें मिसिंग थी. एंड आई रिमेंबर आई रीच्ड आउट टू यू और मैंने आपसे कहा कि पूर्वा मुझे मॉड्यूल ही फॉलो करना है या मैं अपने तरीके से, मुझे मोटी बात समझ में आ गई है कि हमें क्या करना है, मैं अपने लाइक जितना हमारा कंफर्ट लेवल है. यू सेड यू डू वॉट एवर यू थिंक इज राइट फॉर योर पेयर, right? And I think that's what both of us did. And I did tell him on my first call that you know, you जितना right मैं आपसे क्वेश्चन कर रही हूँ, आपको भी उतना ही राइट है मेरे से क्वेश्चन करने का. तो हम दोनों इक्वल हैं इस रिलेशनशिप में, कोई बड़ा कोई छोटा नहीं है. एंड लाइक अनुज सेड, वी स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ आवर इनिशियल कॉल्स नोइंग ईच अदर. तो अनुज मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ी बिग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज दैट द कॉन्फिडेंस दैट आई सी इन हिम, the joy that I see in him. And the third important thing is, I think, the curiosity. You know, he was very tentative about asking questions.
How do you hold each other accountable to make sure that हम वो एक हफ्ता नहीं मिस करेंगे and we are going to complete the module? Because both of you have been consistent for a year now, not even one call missed, and even if there is something, proactively informing. What is the process or structure जो आपने एक दूसरे के लिए सेट किया है, जिसके थ्रू आप दोनों इंश्योर करते हो कि हम अकाउंटेबल हैं एक दूसरे से, प्लस Claylab को भी इन्फॉर्म्ड रखें?
So yeah, the thing is like we always first text on WhatsApp like when we can connect all the time, and then Ravpreet ma'am जब बताती है, always like I prefer Ravpreet ma'am की आप ही बताओ, then I will decide, because I don't know like when she is like free or not, but we usually do on Sundays. And like sometimes I am not that kind of morning person, so मैं थोड़ा late I usually do the meetings. So that's the thing. And also like we always try to do every single week the meeting, and if ever we have like missed one or two, like so we try to do complete it in 1 week, so जिससे हमारा like there will no kind of disadvantage we will face, or we will kind of have a good track on this kind of module.
So Purva, in addition to जो अनुज ने आपसे कहा, बिल्कुल correct है. I think an important point that he's made is that we are both accountable to each other. So we basically continue our communication throughout the week. And how do we do that? If there's something that I've read, if there's a new music piece that I've heard, I like to share it with Anuj. He does the same. Okay, or even if he can't share it, like he said, when we started interacting with each other, he was in the last trimester of his board exams, right? So I remember sending him songs with the lyrics and, you know, whole information on who's the star who's performed it, why was it performed. Anuj loves football, so you know, whatever I can figure out about his favorite football stars. So we do that, right? Both of us. So it's I think that then therefore also, like, I appreciate he's very busy. Both of us are busy, right? He has other stuff to do as well. We have tasks that we need to complete on the assignments. I don't think it is just Anuj's job to do that. So I remind him, we make sure that we interact before he submits those tasks, etc. So I think to me, the fact that communication line is open throughout, it's not just कि अच्छा अगले Saturday या अगले Sunday को मिलेंगे kind of a conversation. Anuj is very mindful of the fact that I'm a working professional. So, you know, he figures that out. Both of us are very different people. He works till 2 in the morning. I wake up at 4. So we are very different. But we figured out our own dance and chemistry. one more thing I have to add, Purva, is that we are both very competitive. तो अनुज का हमेशा ही होता है, दीदी और कितने घंटे बचे हैं हमारे, बाकी पेयर्स के खत्म हो गए हैं क्या, हमारा कितना बचा है. सो आई थिंक दैट ऑल्सो कहीं ना कहीं वो रोल प्ले होता ही है कि अरे मतलब किसी और के दीदी आवर्स खत्म हो गए, हमारे कितने बचे हैं, ट्रैकर से पता करके बताओ. सो ही इज ऑलवेज वेरी माइंडफुल ऑफ दैट.
I'm so glad that it worked out so well. I'm going to move things on a more fun, lighter side. Which call of yours was the most fun one where you both ended up laughing a lot?
I'm going to go first. Anuj was in Pune this year. He had gone for TFOF and I think I called out to you and I'm like, Purva, calls नहीं हो पाएंगी, Anuj का schedule whatever. But Anuj was very clear कि call तो हम करेंगे मैम, बस थोड़ा ना time का इधर उधर देख लेंगे. So the problem with that entire program was अनुज को सोना बहुत पसंद है, जो कि आपको अभी तक पता चल ही गया होगा. मतलब इन द सेंस कि वो सुबह नहीं उठ सकता और वहां पे हर रोज सुबह उठना, जल्दी उठ के ब्रेकफास्ट खा के बस में बैठना है अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग. सो आई रिमेंबर वन डे आई कॉल्ड एंड आई थिंक इट वाज संडे और ये लोग शायद कहीं घूमने जा रहे थे पुणे में, बट अनुज को अपना वो 1 घंटा करना था दीदी के साथ. तो ही फर्स्ट आई थिंक मैंने, क्योंकि अनुज रेडी नहीं था, इसकी जितने बैचमेट्स थे आई स्पोक टू ऑल ऑफ देम. ही वाज लाइक आप इससे बात करो, तब तक आप इससे बात करो. आई स्पोक टू फोर अदर पीपल हु नॉट इवन माय मेंटीज. Okay, we did all that and then ये बस में बैठ गया और फिर obviously he had to show me Pune, which we couldn't figure out because data का कुछ तो चल रहा था. I think only thing, and मुझे समझ में नहीं आया जब मैं वो format भेज रही थी and you asked that whether it was meaningful, not meaningful. I wasn't too sure how am I supposed to respond because we didn't discuss anything in that call except for trying to manage all of this. And of course अनुज को पुणे का खाना बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं था. तो आई थिंक वो 1.5 महीना तो मैंने हर रोज सुना है कि खाना कितना बुरा था मैम, हमारी कॉल ही खाने के ऊपर, मैम ये लोग क्या खाते हैं, मतलब पनीर और दाल मखनी क्यों नहीं बनाते ये लोग. एंड I think that entire period, I don't know how much of meaningful chats both of us have had, but the laughter overall during that entire conversation, those 30 days was like really really big. वैसे मैं इसकी बहुत टांग खींचती रहती हूँ तो हमारा usually calls पे काफी laughter होता ही है, but I think that really stands out.
Ravpreet, we know that you also helped Anuj get an internship and another mentee from Claylab, that also at your own organization. This is something we recommend to all of our mentors, that help your mentees find opportunities. It doesn't have to be, of course, at your own organization, but looking out for opportunities for them is how you can become their champion. So maybe tell us a little more about that, how that came to happen, where Anuj was able to secure an internship thanks to you. What was the entire process?
I think Purva, at the core of it really is that मुझे अनुज के interests मालूम है और मुझे ये भी पता है, like I told you, Anuj and I treat him as an equal. Through my own journey, a lot of people have helped me, and the exposure that I got at a young age really shaped me into the person that I am today, right? And I'm very grateful for that, and I wanted Anuj to experience. I appreciate he's still young, he's still trying to figure out, but corporate culture होता क्या है, organization में जब आप join करते हो, what is really an office like, and it just so happened he's very very fond of graphic designing, he's very interested in tech part of the things, right? So I happen to be in a place where everybody is actually encouraged to help people get internships, but fundamentally I was a little skeptical because he was still studying, right? So I wasn't too sure how the organization will approach it, but to my surprise, when I brought it up internally, they were only too happy. And then Anuj, because he is Anuj was like, Didi, sirf main akela nahi, there is one more person, can you also please help? And that's really how it came about. But I have to tell you that I think he and Lakshay both took that opportunity very seriously. People still remember them in our office, and therefore that made me super proud. So it wasn't that I figured an opportunity out, it is also how he respected that opportunity and what he made of that opportunity, right? So I think all of that goes in tandem, which also now encourages me that, if there are other mentees who need this kind of support and help, I am very happy, like you said, not just in my organization, but anywhere else. I am right now looking out because he's so interested in the entire finance space to see if I can get him some exposure somewhere under a mentee who can guide him for some short duration once he has some time.
So it's the end of the video, guys. So अगर आपको ये अच्छी लगी like our interview, so and but if you are taking something back towards your journey and experiences, and if you are reflecting back on it, so please make sure like you have liked the video and subscribe our YouTube channel and for more updates. And we'll see you soon. And for this, yeah, this is the end of the video. And make sure like if you have taking something back towards your journey, so like you can implement it also, and that's a great thing for your journey also. And like try to be always like being compassionate or always be like consistent, and that's the thing that we should always do, and always be like kind of a person who believes in yourself and you believe in your mentee. So that's the thing that keeps you really going on far away, and you can build a lifelong connection with your mentee and all. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and see ya.